Hello, my friend. How are you? It's good to see you. So today's Tuesday, November 7th, 2023. This time next week, we'll have already had the Stronghold Digital Mining Q3 2023 investor presentation. It's scheduled to take place, if I'm not mistaken, at 11 o'clock in the morning. So I'm very much looking forward to that, as I'm sure you are as well. I got back a short while ago from voting. They give you this little sticker that says I voted. For those of you who may not be in the United States of America, today is voting day, as you may have surmised. And it's this uniquely amazing opportunity that I just had to sort of leave my little secret headquarters here, take a lovely walk on a beautiful day here in eastern Pennsylvania, a beautiful autumn day where temperatures are quite mild. Some trees still have their leaves. Other trees have already lost their leaves as we progress further and further into autumn. Absolutely gorgeous day. I got a chance to walk to this voting location, not that terribly far from here. I greeted the individuals who were working there. I thanked them, as I oftentimes will do. Hey, thank you for being here to help, make this process what it is. Some people may look at me and think, oh, this guy's a bit goofy, but I could tell that for some of them, they really appreciate it, because the truth is, I don't think they get too many thank yous, So I went into this lovely little booth. I cast my vote, and then I walked out. I said goodbye to folks. They, a couple of them thanked me, and I left. Now, what does this have to do with Stronghold Digital Mining? Well, I will submit to you, my friend, that each and every trading day, it is essentially election day for Stronghold Digital Mining. You and I, as well as everybody else who has the opportunity to participate in financial markets, have the opportunity to make that decision. Do I want to remain a part of this company? Do I want to remain a shareholder of this company? Do I want to remain in the owner's box or not? Do I want to be a part of this story or not? And every single day that there's trading of shares of SDIG, right, that decision is being made. I'm looking at the homemade dashboard. It looks like about 188,000 shares have been traded today. So I think of it in some ways as 188,000 ballots have been cast just today by people all over the place, right? As it relates to, hey, do I want to remain a part of this story? Do I want to remain a part of Stronghold Digital Mining? And as I think about that, and I think about how challenging it can sometimes be to be in leadership of, say, a company like Stronghold Digital Mining, right? Where internally, everybody looks to you, right? If you're the CEO of the company, if you're the CFO, if you're, somebody who's in a very sort of high profile position within the company, right? Everybody's looking to you, right? Internally, right? All the different teams look to you for your leadership. Outside of the company, shareholders look to you for your leadership. You become both a savior as well as a pariah. You're a lightning rod and also a beacon of hope, right? You inevitably get forced into wearing so many different hats and attempting to sort of like play so many different roles to different audiences. And throughout that entire process, you're attempting, right, to make the very best decisions possible for the business. It is a role that I do not envy. I think it's a tremendously challenging role to be in, and I, for one, am profoundly grateful, as I've expressed time and time and time again. I'm profoundly grateful for the leadership this company has. It's easy sometimes, right, to say, hey, management should make this decision, not that decision. Management should do this and not that. But ultimately, if you look at the history of Stronghold Digital Mining, okay, this company, this entity, this enterprise would not exist were it not for some key members of this management team. These individuals helped shepherd this company into existence. And so, from my perspective, they are unquestionably qualified to lead this company into its future, into its full potential as a business. The day may come where, hey, maybe there's a vacuum in leadership. Somebody says, you know what? I don't want the aggravation anymore. I don't need to do this for the money. I've got plenty of that. What am I getting out of this, right? If all a person ever gets is criticism, hey, I think you're doing it wrong. You should be doing this, not that. This, that, the other thing, right? If it's more a feeling of being a lightning rod, what happens if there is that vacancy? I mean, right? So I, for one, am very, very grateful for the leadership that this company has. And I'm grateful that this company, the leadership team is very open to constructive criticism, as any good leadership team would be, right? Every leadership team wants to be better at what they do, But I think it's also important to show a little bit of gratitude and to say, hey, you know what? This is not an easy job. And I'll tell you, when you look at the transformation and the progress that's being made, that, progress oftentimes is kind of like one of the key ingredients to feeling a sense of purpose and feeling an internal sense of joy and happiness in some ways, right? When you feel like you're making progress. And this business, Stronghold Digital Mining, is making progress, has been making progress, and I believe will continue to make progress. Now, the stock price isn't really making any progress. I'm looking right now, it's trading, around $4.16 a share. Yeah, I mean, I get it. That's not a number to get excited about, okay? This isn't about sugarcoating the fact that the stock price is a bit anemic. I get it. I mean, from what I'm looking at, hey, price of Bitcoin's about 35,000 plus. So again, there's a lot of jostling around that $35,000 price point, but we're holding steady. Hash prices are at about 8 cents, which again is incredibly, incredibly useful and constructive for Stronghold Digital Mining. And you know what? I was just looking at an article on Bloomberg. Oh, let's see if I can pull it up again. I can paraphrase it as I attempt to find it. But in so many words, it was basically saying, for the first time, the interest on the United States debt, the interest payments, mind you, alone, are now essentially going to be exceeding $1 trillion per year. At least that's what Bloomberg is projecting. I don't think I'm going to be able to find that specific article at the moment. But you can fact check me on this. Look it up. I mean, it's there. And so, that's very thought-provoking. And the article went on to say that, it doesn't look like there's much that's going to change. And remember, one of the gambles that we're making as it relates to Bitcoin is that nothing changed. Right? We're not gambling that there's going to be some transformation, some come to reality moment, right? Where suddenly there's fiscal restraint, right? I mean, we're just kind of betting that things, will just kind of keep going as they're going. And I'm not saying that I'm a fan of that, right? Nor am I saying that I'm a proponent of that. I'm sort of just accepting that this is what it is, right? And so Bitcoin is arguably, or an argument could be made, Bitcoin is the answer to that, right? That we as individuals can say, hey, you know what? We want to make sure that we've got something left of our purchasing power, hopefully, so that when it comes time to rebuild after the mess that's going to potentially be made here, there are some people that are in a position to help rebuild, right? So I'm not just optimistic and positive for the sake of being optimistic or positive. I'm optimistic and positive based on the evidence in front of me, based on the trajectory that we see the operations of this company, having made over the past year since its inception. Remember, Stronghold Digital Mining didn't just start out with, a bazillion Bitcoin mining machines, right? I mean, this has been a process whereby the company has transformed itself. And that transformational process continues to this very day and will continue into the future. That's why today, right, as I cast my vote as it relates to Stronghold Digital Mining, I am voting for management, right? I am voting for this company. I'm voting to remain in the ownership box, and I would like to invite you to make a decision. I do this oftentimes. I did it last year towards the end of every year. You know what? You got to make a decision, my friend. You got to decide, I want to be a part of this or not. I either believe in this company or I don't. And then you have to make that decision and then be at peace with yourself, not find yourself then worrying or in a state of uncertainty. You have to say, hey, look, I'm going to make a conscious decision based on the research I've done, right? You do your own homework, right? You do your own, due diligence, as they would say, right? And then you make a decision, but you have to make a decision. The worst position to be in is one of uncertainty, where you're like, man, I don't know. Like, there's part of me that thinks this company maybe has a future, but then there's a part of me that thinks the company doesn't have a future. You got to get clear. It's not about having faith. It's about having certainty. Okay. And you got to be really, really clear on that. And then you got to make a decision. You got to cast a vote. You either got to buy shares, or you got to say, you know what? Nope, I'm going to sell my shares. Or conversely, I'm just not going to buy any at all to begin with. So you got to make a decision. And I'm not saying that to be antagonistic or confrontational or argumentative. I'm just telling you, I think from my perspective, one's mental health will be dramatically improved, dare I say that, if you just come to a decision and you decide, hey, I'm going to own shares of this company, or I'm not going to own shares of this company. There's a lot of other publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies out there. Stronghold Digital Mining is not the only choice. If you want to be involved in the Bitcoin mining sector, there's a lot of choices out there. For me, as I cast my vote, not going to get a sticker from Stronghold Digital Mining, right? But hey, as I cast my vote today, as it relates to Stronghold Digital Mining, I'm voting to stay in. Okay, my friend, let's stay positive, let's be great, and we'll see each other again tomorrow.